Hey, Cardinal fans, Mitchell Swanson. I'm here with Coach Rivers. We're in the Rusty Cold Fieldhouse the Wednesday before the W.S. Neal game. Coach, how you been?
Good.
Congrats on the big win. I mean, first time in school history starting 2-0. It's really big for us. What does it mean to be a head coach and starting the season strong like that?
Yeah, it's big. You always want to start fast. We always have the kind of the one-liner that you can't go undefeated unless you win the first one. And then from there you obviously got to keep stringing them together. But 1-0 mentality. It is exciting to be 2-0 for the first time, in history, and that's a small feat, but hey, it is where it is,
Mm-hmm.
And so off to a good start. I thought it was a great crowd last week, getting our first regular season home win on campus. We had a great crowd out there, and we found a way. It wasn't our best outing. In terms of it was a little sloppy at times, but we found a way to win, which is the name of the game. Score one more point than the other team, and we were able to get that done.
Yes, sir. And John Carroll game, like you said, it was very special. You had two Catholic schools, not from the same diocese, but just two Catholic schools playing each other, and that's special in a sense. And then also you had the stadium dedication. Archbishop was there, But really, what really stood out was the player experience. We had the banquet, and it was kind of like a mini bowl game, as you said. What was the schedule kind of like for the two teams before the game, and what kind of positive experiences did we notice?
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it went well. When we talked to Coach Mara, Will Mara does a great job with that program. He played at John Carroll, the head football coach there, and they have 70+ years of running as a school. So there's a lot of tradition there. And he when we got the game on the schedule in January, whenever it was. We said we wanted to kind of try to make it a big deal. Y'all are coming 4 hours. We'll be going 4 hours next year. Let's make it feel different than just a regular game. And so, they stayed down at Holy Spirit Hall. We were able to, have a joint mass with them there at Sacred Heart Chapel right on the bay. It was a beautiful evening. There was hardly no wind. The bay was calm as could be.
Yes, sir.
And ate some barbecue with those guys. I thought you guys, both players mixed in well. It wasn't just John Carroll sit over here and St. Michael sit over there. So that was cool. So I thought that added to it. You mentioned Archbishop being there with field dedication, both teams out there. We were able to pray with them after the game. So all of that was awesome. Obviously, I know they were disappointed that they didn't get the win.
Yes,
that's the way somebody's going to be disappointed every week. But they were a classy bunch. Look forward to making that trip next year and doing something similar. That we talked about already. So it was it ended up being an awesome night all the way around. It's high school sports. It's Catholic high school. It's what you want it to be.
Yes, sir.
Right? What you want it to be. It's got to be bigger than the game. It always has to be bigger than the game, and we do our best to try to make sure that's the case each and every day.
Yes, sir. And, when evaluating the John Carroll game, we started off very strong, 2 drives, kind of came up short on those in the red zone. I mean, what do you feel causes a team sometimes to struggle in the red zone?
Yeah, well, it's just, again, for us, last week, it was a little bit of a lapse mentally more than anything. We had Maddox has been great snapping the ball. He didn't have his best snap. Gunner getting busy down to get it. But everybody had good intentions, right? But it's just all of a sudden the ball's on the ground rather than just being able to cover it up. Gunner was trying to pick it up. Marjay was trying to take it from Gunner. So just kind of snowballed on that one. The other one, I think it's one of those Gunner probably completes to Brody, probably 99 out of 100. He really made the right throw, the right read, and just overthrew it by a little bit, which is part of playing the position. So both of those drives, though, were good. And we end up with no points, So that's kind of an emphasis for us this week is finishing in the end zone. But again, we overcame it. We gave a few too many big plays on defense, too many penalties again, 11 penalties. So there's a lot of room for improvement. I know our players, our coaches are committed to that. It's a lot more fun to improve and win along the way than it is coming in after a loss and having some of those mistakes have cost you a game.
Yes, sir. And Wild Cardinal Network Player of the Week was Gunner. He was less efficient in this game compared to Bayside, but against John Carroll, he was 17 out of 32 with an interception off the hands of a receiver, but he still had 6 plays greater than 20. 10 first downs, 2 touchdown passes, and 1 rushing touchdown. What can you pinpoint for us that Gunner did really well during this game?
Well, I think he just kept playing the next play. He really had that new champion mentality, right? We missed a few, which he's going to miss a few. All quarterbacks are going to miss a few, but he just kept playing the next play, right? You have the disaster on the +1 early in the game, and then we just barely missed Brody Jones on the touchdown, and then we throw an interception right before the half, right? And that can cause you to go into a funk, but he just kept playing and kept leading the guys and playing well, and finds Cooper Kurth there for the touchdown to take the lead.
Yes, sir.
And just it never got it never unraveled for him, and I think that was really the whole team. We just kept going, we just kept playing, and that's what's going to be sometimes. John Carroll's a good team. Mm-hmm. Could we have won by a bigger margin if we play well? I think we could have. John Carroll's coach probably thinks they could have.
Yes,
so but we just find ways. You just got to find a way to win. So we're going to look back and think, man, that John Carroll was good for us to experience that, to be down 19-14 with 5 minutes left in the game. To have some struggles because that makes you more aware. You can talk about it, right? I can tell y'all all the time, hey, this is going to cause you to fumble. This is going to do this. But if it never happens, you don't believe it. Mm-hmm. It's just like what did they say? The little boy that cried wolf, right?
Yes, sir.
Wolf, wolf, wolf. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Well, then the wolf's not here. Mm-hmm. Well, and then when the wolf's there, you don't. So
yes, sir.
Go back to childhood tale there, Tony Mitchell. But anyway, we've had some things come up that hasn't cost us a game, thankfully. But I think it makes us all that more aware of, oh man, we got to tighten up because it will.
Gunner's second year. It's the second year with a lot of these players, and he emphasized how lucky he is in that regard. Can you speak about how much of a luxury it is for a QB to have familiarity with most of his players? Yeah,
I think it's huge. I'm just thinking back again. I can only think personally as a quarterback, and the years where you just had that continuity with a coaching staff and with players is huge. It's huge, and you just how much more comfortable you feel. So I think you add the fact that he was a freshman last year is challenging enough.
Yes, sir.
Now you throw in another year of experience now playing, and then you get to play with pretty much the same guys, mm-hmm. and so that leads to for all the guys to be a lot more comfortable. And I think you see it, you feel it. You're in that offensive skill group, so you see and feel that the guys just know what to do. There's a lot of easy communication, and they all just kind of go with the flow.
Yes, sir.
And they've learned that I'm a little bit crazy, and every now and then I'll just say, get in this and get in that, and let's run this, and they all go, okay. It's not too much for them. So no, I do think that the continuity is big, both in the system and within your teammates. Having a lot of familiar faces back is certainly comforting to a quarterback.
Yes, sir. And moving to the receivers, Brody, Tucker, and Cooper, they're playing very well. I mean, Brody seems to get over 100 yards every single game, and Tucker catches the ball every time it comes his way, and then Cooper is just always there for big plays, and he's really dependable. Could you give us one thing about each receiver that makes them successful?
Well, I think, Tucker, again, you look up, and that's the way some games go. I looked up after the game, and it was like Tucker only had 2 catches. I knew he had the reverse. And it's like, man, golly. So he's a guy we want to make sure we continue to give him the football. Mm-hmm. To me, what's shown with Tucker is just he looks fast out there. I mean, he looked fast last year, but he's playing with speed, and he's playing fast, which is huge. Brody, you mentioned, I think he's had 8 catches back-to-back weeks, and his just consistency, and he's running with some aggressiveness and authority, but also being smart. You saw him get out of bounds on one. Then you saw him really finish one aggressively. So he's really picked up where he's left off from last year. And then Cooper Kurth, to me, is just I had a coach tell me once, dependability is the best ability.
Yes, sir.
And he's just being very dependable.
Yes,
he knows that there's probably a game coming where he's not going to catch a ball.
Yes, sir.
He knows where he may just get one. And then it showed up in the first 2 weeks. He's caught 7 passes, I think, for almost 100 yards and a touchdown. And you just never know, but he's dependable. He's dependable in the run game, dependable in the pass game. He's going to know what to do and do it well. And so it's been exciting to see him, get in the end zone, take the go-ahead touchdown, and then get a few more balls than maybe he was expecting. And that's why we say you just never know. You never know where it's going. We do know. We are trying to push it to Tucker and Brody. We are. We're going to hand the thing off to Noah and Kamarja. But you never know where it's going to end up. And Cooper's a perfect example of that.
Yes, sir. And, speaking on Kamarja, he continues to impress us in the backfield. He's actually been taking Noah's spot while Noah's hurt. Will we see Noah back in the offense this week?
Yeah, I hope so. We're still monitoring Noah. He's really been patient and really been diligent with his treatment and getting himself back. it's one of those deals you just don't want to rush him. You want to. He wants to. He wants to be out there bad.
Yes, sir.
But you don't want to rush him and then have another setback. So we're trying to be smart with that, but he's trending in the right direction. Love to see him out there this week, especially losing Brady. You're going to need Marjay even more on defense now. And so, but we're still going to mix Marjay in there if we were to get Noah back, and we'll ease Noah in the right direction. But you got to remember, Noah mid-year last year when Martin was down had 30-something carries out of Scambia. So
yes, sir.
We know what Noah's capable of and what he can do. I think he knows. He's just itching to get back out there. We just got to do it smart so he's with us for the long haul.
Yes, sir. And, like we said, Marjay, he's shown us some really good ability to find the hole and hit the gap. And he has good hands catching the ball. Has he increased his role in offense with his performance?
Yeah, no, I don't think – I think it was always going to be kind of that I don't say wild card, but just kind of that, all right, Marjay, I don't know what it's going to be each week, but be ready to go on offense.
Yes, sir.
Because he just really settled in at corner. He had a great summer in 7-on-7, and so it was just kind of like, hey, we'll just kind of see. And I hope to see them both in the game together. Marjay and Noah both in the game at the same time, and that'll be fun. When that time comes to have them both in the backfield at the same time, both split out and empty, and bringing them back. And you've seen us play around with some of that in the off season. So we get everybody healthy, and there's a plethora of personnel groups and formations we can get in.
Yes, sir. And what is his best trait as a running back?
Well, I think his physicalness. He's physical. I mean, and I think too, he's gotten better. Running back to me is of any of the positions. Running back is a rep position. Mm-hmm. You really can't. You need the reps, and you need the reps and the reps and the reps. Marjay has not gotten a ton of reps at running back all summer, all offseason. So I felt like, to me, from week 1 to week 2, he improved. Just his vision, his cuts, his sharpness, his physicality, finishing runs. So, the guy's a great basketball player. So he has vision, and he likes to score, and he knows how to get downhill and get to the hoop. So I think it's just kind of letting his natural instincts take over. A guy that hasn't gotten a ton of practice, you don't want to overcoach him. It's a little bit like, hey, trust it and go.
Yes,
Obviously teach him the fundamentals and what we're reading and all those things, but then you can almost paralyze him because we don't have the time to get him caught up as if we had been training at running back since March. So he's done a nice job handling this. This reminds me of one of my seasons at NC State. I can't remember what year, and our running back got hurt, and we moved a corner. His name was Greg Golden to tailback. This is big time college football. This is the week of the game. He's not played any tailback since high school, and he rushed for I don't know what. He played the first 2 games and ran it well. And then when our tailback came back, he went back to corner.
Yes, sir.
So I kind of feel like Marjay, a little bit of that. We'll still keep him at running back, but it's kind of a similar deal. And Marjay's handled it very well.
Yes, sir. Again, congratulations on the 2-0 start. But the goal is to reach the playoffs, obviously. And what do you have? What to do that you have to win Region 1? Games starting this Friday against WS Neal. They've only played 1 game so far, and it was a loss to Excel. How do you think the Eagles look this year?
It was a funny game against Excel. They fumbled a few times, then came roaring back. They were down 22-0, ended up losing 29-28. I think WS Neal probably should have won that game had they played a little better. They didn't. It was their first game. They didn't have a jamboree like we did, and then we played Bayside before John Carroll. So they haven't played as much yet this fall. So they probably are working out a few kinks. They have some skill guys that are dangerous. It's a prideful school in town, and we got to go to their place and be ready to go. So we talk about in the NFL, you say championships begin in the division. And, our division, the AFC West, always was us and the Raiders and the Chiefs and the Broncos. And here in high school, championships begin in the region. And, we know how big that is, region games. And we're starting region play. We need to get off to a good start in Region 1 by beating WS Neal. And so we saw what it was like last year. Getting to the playoffs was a big accomplishment, but we were the 4th seed, and we had to go way, 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 way far away to Roanoke, Alabama, and play Handley. So we realize now, okay, man, that was good. Okay, now how can we win the region?
Yes, sir.
And so that's the goal. That's the goal every year, win Region 1. We're a long way from that, but the first step in that is beating WS Neal.
Coach, we've seen some injured players down on the field, and we've heard about them through your interviews. How is the health of the team right now?
It was tough losing Brady on the opening kickoff. Hated for Brady. You lost Nick Russo the week before that. You hate it for those guys. They're your buddies. They're y'all's teammates. They're students of ours, players for us. And You hate it for them first.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, because they're missing out on their, what Brady's senior year, Russo's junior season. So you hate it for them first, and then certainly it has an effect on the team because they're impactful players for us. So those are the two that were, obviously the most catastrophic. We've had some other nicks and knacks, here and there with Noah and some other guys, bumps and bruises, but they just don't have to keep continuing to battle through, get as healthy as they can. You're only 100% one time, and that's before the first game.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, you'll never really be 100% again, and you just got to battle through the ones you can, and then we hope to avoid any more of the season enders.
Yes, sir. And Brady Zeb went down. He was ready for a monster year this year. What will the team miss the most from him as he recovers?
Pure football-wise, as a DB, as a corner, he was arguably the best tackler on the team.
Yes, sir.
And that's not always the case, for a DB. You need your corners to be good tacklers in our defense, but he was a really good tackler and played both the run and the pass well. But I think more than that, just his steadiness. Brady had a steadiness to him. You just knew you could count on number 7. And I know he ended up wearing 0. There for unfortunately one play, but you just knew where 7 was going to be, and he was going to do his job and play well. He'd been playing a lot of snaps for a lot of years, so I think we'll miss his tackling in terms of in between the lines, but I think in general, his steadiness.
Yes, sir. And, we travel the next 2 weeks, Region 1, we go to W.S. Neal this week and then Satsuma the next. Are there differences in the preparation of an away game compared to staying at home?
Other than having to get on the bus and leave, I think we're going to leave about 3:45. That's different. And going on the road. But I've always, as a player, enjoyed going on the road. I think our guys do. Y'all enjoy being on the bus together and kind of taking a road trip. And it's that mentality. We said it the other day. I had a teammate, Melvin Ingram, that used to say ASAP, and it's any squad, any place. We'll play any squad, any place. And that was back when, we were riding over to the Lip to play Escambia.
Yes, sir.
And we were just all over. It's like, we'll play you anywhere, out here in the parking lot or anywhere. And I think it's that mentality of, all right, we're going to Bruton. Let's go. We got us. We got us in this room, in this locker room, and certainly our fans and families will travel well. They always do to be there to support us. But there's something kind of bonding about being on the road together and going to play. It's kind of like, here we come, right? You're going on a mission to go win a football game on the road, and then the bus ride home is always fun. So it's I look forward to the road games. It's certainly preferred to walk right back out here on campus and play at home, but I think the road games are fun. It's a little bit of a challenge, right? You set out on a mission together and go find a way to win.
Yes, sir. And travel to WS Neal, Satsuma, and then we're home for a midseason bye week. Wouldn't it be something to go 5-0 heading into the bye week?
Yeah, no, I think that's the goal, and I think it's attainable. We got 3 region games right in a row. You go WS Neal and Satsuma, as you mentioned, on the road. Then we play Escambia at home, homecoming at home, and then we have a bye week. So, no, I think it's okay. Different coaches and players are kind of different mentalities are a little bit like, why are you talking about that? It's 1 week at a time, and it is. It's 1 week at a time, and we're all focused on WS Neal. But I think it's silly to say, well, no, it's fun to look at that schedule and go, man, we could be 5-0 at the bye. That's fun to look out there. That doesn't mean we're looking ahead.
Yes, sir.
But that's fun to dream about. Man, what is that going to feel like September 20th if we're 5-0 after the bye?
Yes, sir.
Well, how are we going to do that? Well, we got to beat WS Neal on Friday night.
Yes,
so
sir.
it still always takes you back to the game you're in. But no, I think that's a fun little dangling carrot out there that we can get to the bye week and be 5-0, and you're going to be ranked top 5 in the state at that point, and you're going to be hosting Jackson, who's going to be number 1 in the state. So, I think those are fun things to dream about. Say, right back out here, we can host Jackson, number 1 versus number 5, first week of October.
Yes, sir.
Okay, man, that's good. That's out there. Okay, but what do we got to do? Well, let's go take care of WS Neal. Okay, then we'll worry about Satsuma, and then we'll worry about Escambia County. 3 region games, all equally important. The Jackson game is not more important than the WS Neal game. The Jackson game can be more important.
Yes, sir.
If we take care of what we need to take care of against WS Neal.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach, for joining us. This has been Mitchell Swanson and Coach Rivers. Good luck and safe play this week. St. Michael starts 2-0. Please like and subscribe. St. Michael, defend us.